the window, and Karma, while FPX lost earlier, basically got a ton of respect to make sure that 7-11 doesn't get the support and the utility that he needs.
Because he lost that game, he's now 0-7-11. If he had won that game, he's 0-7-1-1.
True.
Okay, so that's how it works.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how
we
it
figured it
works.
out.
Okay. Right now, we are seeing the Corki come on in for Nova
Another
and
bait champ.
Jace.
Nice.
Yeah.
From one bait champ to another. Cool, FPX.
It's Jace.
But now we have Jax coming on in. How are you feeling about this? This means that that is out of the hands of Long. It could be the Kazakhs coming in for Long still.
Lino? It's Lino?
It could be another Lee Sin, honestly. Like earlier, Nova.
Oh, but you said
My bold predictions out of the window. Again, although, okay, fine, Nova won with this draft. It's like, let's not change what's done.
Yes.
Not broken. FPX, on the other hand, Jace has been very 50-50. If you get ahead, sure. If you don't get ahead, fine. I'll default to 1-3-1. It's totally cool. One thing that's left open, though, is the Wukong.
Wow.
And Wukong has been one of the, while it can be offensive, is also a defensive answer to mechanical champions. Like if the Lee Sin goes in, if a Riven goes in, you just pop Cyclone and you basically disrupt the entire combo.
But this is very interesting to me because on the side of FPX, they have many potentially flexible champions.
True.
But they just show it all. Jace is going
Yeah.
mid, Wukong's going top, Jax is going jungle. You have the flexes, but you show everything immediately, and that raises the question of what are you holding here for your Dragon Lane? Because if you're dropping Xiaoma and Lei's pick to 4-5, you gotta have something prepared here. Why else would you show your entire top side like this?
Exactly, you need utility. The rest of this from FPX are damage heavy and setup. You need, like another Black Shield, you need shields for 7-11 to survive in these team fights.
And we saw earlier that FPX, their mood was very, very somber as they gathered for their huddle. They had their energy was really very serious and of course very, very down coming from that loss. We saw from the earlier video that they don't take losses very lightly, whereas on the other hand, for Nova Esports, they were actually pretty chill.
Yeah.
They were pretty chill, like not.
They won.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were chill, and it's just affirmation that what they're doing, their strategy here, really just setting up Long and following through with all that. That seems to be working for them.
Wow.
Now we have a Morgana coming in for FPX.
FPX are really changing things up here on the semifinal stage. I think if you're looking at what they drafted in groups and quarters even, there will be a high priority on the Ziggs right here.
Yep.
Something like Ziggs Cocky was something they won a lot of games with. But now they're just doubling down on the 0-7-1-1. You must carry us kind of team composition. You still have Poke in the form of Jace, but it's a bit of a change up from what they would usually play. And that's very interesting to me. Why now?
I feel like this is the time they can do 1-3-1. Meanwhile, for Nova, they popped in the Ziggs, which means they're opting for more of a lot of raw damage again for 5v5s and a lot of poke on the other hand. So Nova, what is lacking to me is a very good disengaged support like the Gragas. I feel like Gragas is going to be incredibly important here.
They really just flipped the drafts again.
Yeah.
Blue side is an FPX draft, red side is a Nova draft. They just did the same thing as game one. What's going on here? I want to know what's going on behind the scenes in these teams' minds.
Well, currently we do see, and the Galio coming in, locking that down for Nova Esports. We do see Nova kind of taking on this sort of like chameleon-like identity. So if FPX is drafting a Nova draft and Nova drafting an FPX draft, so far it seems to be Nova is better at adapting to this than FPX is.
I just think that the champions that Nova have are once again just stronger than what FPX have.
For sure.
FPX is so reliant on that Jax to pop off. And you see how well these WRL teams team fight sometimes. The kiting around it is too good.
And the fact that, yeah, you're right, the kiting, the range, that means 0-7-11 is going to have a very hard time reaching these backline carries. He has to set up flanks. And now with the Gragas being enabled, that means FPX, when these 5v5s, if they're not confident in the team fight, they can just opt out.
Well, I do really think that, like, okay, so Nova got that one game for prediction support.
True,
Of course, FPX, I really do hope they know what they're doing. But I gotta say, Omo, I'm actually not feeling too confident.
I'm not. I mean, there are some tools that FPX can play around. Jace's early game, Jax scaling, and the Gragas barrel to displace the Ziggs, the Cocky. But overall, I like Nova's chances more.
True.
Yeah. Well, that's what Miku and Omo think. What do Rafa...
Massive engages for Remake. Nova Esports up one game in this best of three off the power of the bottom half of their map.
Remake forced to play a different champion this time around. Orianna taken away.
Oh.
It's the Ziggs, but Yami making a run back on the Galio, baby.
Yeah, Ziggs coming out. Staple, a little bit less scaling power than the Orianna, but longer ranged. Yami here on the Galio, as you talked about, and Nyan, who had an incredible game 1, getting his Corki again.
I really liked how Riku brought up Neon's usage of the Hullbreaker in those team fights and isolating himself so he could maximize the Hullbreaker stats. I don't think that's something that we have seen that often being cognitive in this tournament.
Yezi, on the opposite side of that matchup here, is going to have the tools to fight during the early game. So the big marker is, does Yezi get to do huge burst damage to Neon in those shock blasts? Does he have an answer in the side lanes with a Hullbreaker of his own? Because this Corki isn't just Neon's Corki, it's also Yezi's Corki.
I think it was like, what, 7 games of Corki this entire tournament? That's a lot.
That's remarkable. I think that's exactly right, Mark. So, yeah, Yezi has played a ton of Corki. And it's being taken away from him, which is forcing him to reach deeper in his pool.
Karma didn't work out too well for FunPlus Phoenix. This time it's the Jace, something that can contest and look for split pushing.
We talked a lot about Long during the last game. He didn't find the early game control that you expect from a Lee Sin. Still was relevant, but we got to go back to it. This is a game where Long needs to find early game gold. This is yet another game where FPX have so far avoided the threat. So far being 2 minutes in, doesn't sound like a whole lot, but Long normally very active in those first 2 minutes. So every moment that FPX stalls out and drags this on without Long finding early gold is a success.
And something that's also uncharacteristic for FPX when you look back at the other games that they've played so far this tournament, around this time you would see 0711 and Lei roaming towards the top side of the map, trying to push and help a dive for Fado, get some plays on. This has not happened so far.
Yeah, Fado is such a reliably good top laner. He so reliably wins the top lane matchup. You can see him shoving Yiza underneath his own turret. And so FPX normally, when that shove is in force, gank the lane and shut down whatever poor soul is pinned behind their turret. But 0711 so far hasn't felt the confidence to do that. And I think part of that is Long. Whenever we've seen 0711 and FPX have presence up in the top lane, it has been successful. They did get some kills onto Yuza last game, but it was always with pressure surrounding him, with the rest of Nova roaming up and limiting the damage. Just as FPX are containing Long, Nova are containing Fado.
Unfortunately for 0711, he's on top of a ward, so Yami and Remake don't bite any of the bait that Xiaoma was fishing for them. It forces him to stay a little longer than he would have liked.
But it was like a double bait, because 0711 is down here in the bottom lane. The reason he's doing that is to cover for the fact that Lei is up roaming in the mid lane now. He was up top a moment ago. So it's more an efficiency rotate than anything else, I think, from FPX. Like, yeah, it would be really nice if they'd found a bottom side kill, but also because of the way that the players were positioned on the map, they just managed to have 2 players down supporting Xiaoma. And now that the wave is crashing, there'll still be 2 players supporting Xiaoma, and Lei was able to have presence in the opposite side of the map during that time.
Oh ho ho, but Yezi sees 3 people coming towards his face, and he flashes away just in time to get out. But now the 2-man engage from Yami and Remake capitalizes for first blood.
Because they see the roam from Lei. So, brilliant engage by Nova in the middle of the map, and Yezi manages to dodge all of it with the use of summoner spells. Excellent little knockback followed by a really good sidestep with the Shock Blast, gets him to safety. But during that time, Lei rotates out of the bottom side to try and save his mid laner, and Nova Esports go, okay, well, we can make this play happen down bottom, and they shut down Xiaoma before he can respond.
It's a fluid tactical game from both of these teams. As soon as one team shows their pieces blatantly on the map, the enemy team will strike immediately. And for FPX, they're the ones that lose out on the trade. Nova Esports now net themselves a solid 1,000 gold lead.
Yeah, and it's rare that Lei's roams get punished. Normally Xiaoma has enough control of that bottom lane to stay safe, but early Morgana can't clear wave fast enough. Needs somebody being a bodyguard.
Dude, Yami is on a mission this game, TJ. He said, I'm going to prove to be the better support than you. First roam on the map, already out-roaming Lei and punishing 5 seconds away from the objective spawning.
Yeah, yet again, this matchup coming down to those 2 supports, and it may yet again, as it is team fight time. First objective on the board.
Oh, that's a lot of damage from Neon. Dude, does he just lay down the package right now? He's trapped into the pit. Neon, on a solo mission, calls over Yami for the heroic entrance. 0711 has to flash back into the pit just to secure the dragon. Look at the pressure that Noah just put down onto the bottom side. But Yise in the 1v1 of Fado, he wins it! Didn't even need Long there.
massive win for Yeezy. He'll get the Rift Herald as well. I was waiting for Remake to try and confirm a kill on the bottom side, but instead he's going to roam up. It's Nova Esports get the gold lead on the map rotations. Nobody has enough HP to match them, and so they'll get a free turret in the top side. FPX have but one response is going to be to come down here to the bottom lane where Neon yet again bullies out two players trying to punish him.
Dude,
Second charge!
can we talk about how much work Neon is putting in both Game 1 and Game 2? He's doing a great job of being able to handle so much of FPX's members and pressure on the opposite side of the map of where Nova wants to play. It is neutralizing FPX of being able to find leads where they would normally find them throughout the Icons tournament.
And it's the Hullbreaker being used very effectively in order to gain those kill advantages. As Riku pointed out on the desk, he's always getting that stat bonus from being alone on the map. And then in that pit, the package that forced 0711
Solo
to flash
mission
out of the pit, like that's crazy. That's Neon single-handedly using a fairly squishy character to bully all of FPX.
Now Fado has to deal with two players here, Yitse and Yami, pushing on the top side of the map. Fado having to call over lead because he knows he's in the extended side of the map. We're about to have 4 members pushing towards the Baron lane.
And so FPX have signed into this 4-1 split, where there's constantly going to be a Neon and Yezi on the opposite side of the map playing in kind of their own 1v1 kingdom, and the rest of the game is going to be decided by the 4v4. And frankly, Nova have the better players so far in that side lane. A lot of this game rests on Yezi containing the monster in his little biplane in that side lane.
When we came into the series, the expectation for FPX was that they were comfortable taking the 50-50 across all lanes because the results were our laners are playing better than every other laner in the tournament. But Nova are stepping up to the challenge and they're answering them in every lane.
Yeah, and it's very rare that FPX get through early games with a goal deficit because they're normally basically winning everywhere. And so the fact that we're now seeing an FPX in a position they haven't been since the middle of their regular season, behind in golden lanes and having to respond is really interesting. Because 0711 has frankly always looked weak at doing and managing to get an advantage in lane for his players. And so he's defaulting to his other strategy, which is, okay, I'm going to farm as much as possible and I'm going to try to be the Jax carry in the late game. Last game, he got full build, he completed the Wit's End, that's the third item, it normally signals that a Jax is online. This game, he may not, because as you can see, all of his gold is being taken away. Long is stealing away every buff at every opportunity. The rest of Nova are just skirmishing and poking at his farm, and it's having an effect.
And it's the pressure from Neon on the Corki, who can clear the waves faster than Jace at this point in the game, but also Yami, who is answering all the rotations that Lei has been looking for the past 8 minutes.
Yeah, Long shadowing the play here is it's interesting. Both Nova and FPX simultaneously think to play through this bottom side, the solo lane. Long is kind of shadowing it after he steals the buff, he roams down. One thing that's different this time around and may have been the reason for that kind of awkward play on the map is that the Nova Esports vision is much worse than it was last game. They do have the turret take up top, but they don't have the deep vision that allowed Nova to run FPX around the map last time.
FPX, can they take advantage of it? 7 seconds before the Rift Herald spots, they find a rotation where Neon was shadowing the mid lane. Great capitalization from FPX at tower exposure.
But 2 players on the bottom side of the map means Nova have a player advantage up here around the Rift Herald. Vision in the pit for FPX. They can play this fight as slowly as they want to.
Lei already used explosive cast, but look
Now
at the
they
poke
need to
damage
get
from
in.
Remake. You can't handle all the Ziggs damage. Mega Inferno Bomb right onto Shalma. Look at the flank from Yitse, finding Shalma, but a flash despite the wind slash, but it is still Neon that comes in as the last flanker, picking up members on the backside of the fight, and Nova have completely vanquished for FPX.
A really good teamfight engage from Yami as well, as Nova re-engage onto the retreating FPX. Yes, it's the sideline flank from Neon. Yes, it's the initial flank from Yiza. But then when it comes time to teamfight, it looks like FPX might be able to turn it into massive taunt from Yami that combines to give them a teamfight win and a mid-turret. FPX, congratulations on your Rift Herald. Hope you can turn it into a turret, because that's what you just lost.
The Rift Herald, before FPX were down only 2,000 gold, they're now down almost 4,000.
Stonks.
Not the stonks that you want.
Oh, right.
Negative stonks.
But they got the Rift Herald. Surely that's good.
But they have to use
Oh,
it.
yeah, okay. Bad investment from FPX.
Unlucky.
Yeah. This poor Jax is going to have to keep farming his own jungle as well because it keeps getting taken away, and every time a turret falls, like especially that mid turret, it's so much easier from Nova to steal away 0711's farm.
Now FPX, they have given up control of the dragon.
There we go.
They're trying to go for turret trades. Fado already taking out, or Yezi taking out the top side map. Rift Herald charges. Doesn't take out the mid turret, but it gets more turret plates back over to FPX. They're trying to stem the bleeding that Nova is causing.
WCK Rift Herald use, as we called it, when you take the first turret plates but don't take the turret.
Huge.
And in League of Legends PC, that's like really suboptimal because every plate of the turret is harder to take consecutively. So the last turret plate is like a real pain to kill. Here in Wild Rift, all the plates are equally resistant, so it doesn't matter. But it is always really funny. Here for the gold, not the turret.
I just love that you have been keeping track of Rift Herald names. WCK, WNS.
Yeah, the WNS Rift Herald is when you summon the Rift Herald and it doesn't charge.
Man, they're already home, TJ.
It's like 5 a.m. They're not watching. Don't worry.
Almost 12 minutes into the game. It is 4-0 here for Nova Esports, a 3,000 gold lead that FPX have been able to somewhat salvage from completely overflowing.
FPX did a good job on the map, but it's going to be very difficult. They're playing on hard mode from here on. Here come Nova.
And Fado is out
That
of there.
clone is gone, though.
Dude, it got completely destroyed. Absolutely smacked down.
So FPX, in the late game teamfight, do have a solid teamfight. A lot of it is going to be on the way they engage. You're looking at for big explosive casts and big empowered shock blasts.
Shock blasts are strong enough that they can just walk up and
They
bully the
didn't have a
turret
wave.
down.
They were just like, oh, there's a window here. Nova are too far away. We can tank these turret shots.
Yeah, 300 HP is not that hard to take down when you're that hard in the game.
Look at how nasty that is. It's Morgana Dark Binding onto the pool, which is the common combo, and that of course gets scarier as we get later in the game. But also you can drop the cask from Gragas on top of it. And anyway, that's my soapbox. You can tab back into the view screen now. We've got a video game back.
TJ on his money printing rant.
That's what I'm known for.
What treasurers don't want you to know.
Financial crimes. That is a joke for league. Nova Esports versus FPX continues on your screens right now, with Nova Esports at a slight lead. Nova Esports 2,000 gold ahead after continuing to look real good in the team fights in this second game. FPX struggling to scale towards their gems.
Dude, Long has the GA third item once again. So many other Lee Sins this tournament have gone for a more defensive item or even something like a Divine Sunder to increase their durability.
Long's going in.
That's
he knows
right.
He needs it. He also rushes Zhonya's as quick as humanly possible.
Yes!
Because having that stasis button just allows so much outplay. It allows so much mechanical expression.
You also have ways to just bait FPX in as well. You can throw yourself into the heart of the enemy team and they'll think, okay, everyone dive the Lee Sin, and then boom, they've committed tools and spells, and then stasis.
It's the same thing we were talking about. Yuzu's also really good at this. He will full commit to a front line in the stasis, and then you have to respect him because he's going to come out of that stasis angry.
You won't like him when he's angry.
No, you won't like him when he's done sleeping. Don't wake him up from his nap. And so he's like in the front line, frozen, nice little statue, and nobody can walk past him.
Don't blink. Oh! Well, that's a flash out of Remake.
Yeah.
Lei gets it for an explosive cast. That's a nice trade for FPX.
He was really hoping to find knock forward though, and Long and Neon, who were on the receiving end of it, were very aware of what was happening.
Unfortunately, Remake doesn't have the instantaneous mobility. Leisure has to either satchel charge as fast as possible, or in this case, flash.
Now I'm telling you, if you did the Exosin flash body slam combo, where you flash midway through the body slam, he would have found those hooks, because he would have been halfway across the map before Nova realized it.
Shoutouts to Exosin.
Shoutouts to Exosin.
15 minutes into the game.
Gone, but still in our hearts.
True. FPX finding themselves down 4,000 gold as Nova are slowly, 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 trying to find a way back into controlling FPX. Oh, Lei, he's stunned. Did you see Yitze? He intercepted the body slam, and that gets the flash out.
Does burn the flash, and that's very important as we are heading into our third dragon of the game. An Infernal Drake arriving here. Nova in control of the Dragon Pit. Resetting everything right now. It is worth noting that Flash is currently down for long, so he won't have that engage tool either as we get into this major team fight. This is the first team fight that FPX can take on fair terms, so expect them to step forward and take it. 0711 has completed his wit's end, so this Jax is online. Yezi has real damage now as well, but his lethality Jace.
Whoa, that's a flash out of Yami trying to all-in everything on a Fado, but that was the clone, and he had the black shield to get out.
So much wasted. Fado manages to slip over the wall with the clone. It's perfect. FPX can start this dragon now.
Dragon being lined up here, 5,000 HP already gone. You see
no
that 0711 is actually falling up on Yami, but everyone is in the backline. Fado trying to use the Cyclone as a deterrent. Explosive cast, punts numbers away. Hero's entrance from Yami, 1,400 HP. It is stolen by Long, and look at the taunt from Yami. It pulls FPX in. Yezi is so low, he cannot join the fight, and Neon gets slammed up on the Dark Binding.
Neon's doing it again.
He's trying to fight back, but it's still Nova. They have the damage overload. They're the ones that force FPX out of the pit.
Nod does it again. FPX play the team fight perfectly, but that Nova steal away the dragon. So FPX feel they have to overcommit to shut it down. And during that time, Nyan is just dumping out damage. Him and Remake claim the kills. Oh, what a recall. Is that gonna work?
Yeah!
Oh my god.
Right in between the pockets of vision that Nova Esports had there.
That is genuinely very impressive map knowledge. Here's your Coca-Cola pop-off play for a very aggressive team fight. Watch this. So, Yiza re-engages, but because Long didn't land a Sonic Wave, he can't Resonating Strike in. So Yiza is overextended, but he stasis and stalls out the fight, and we get this split fight, which looks very good for FPX, except for the fact that Long wins the Smite fight, then goes into stasis and is able to get away. Yiza finally gets picked off, but they overextend. They're hungry now, and Yan just dumps out damage.
And even with the re-engage from Xiaoma, trying to isolate Neon there, he doesn't do enough damage to completely 1v1 Neon at this point in the game. And something that Yami did that I didn't realize at the beginning of the fight, as you see him popping off, he was isolated with 0711, forcing him to re-engage, and then he comes in with the Hero's Entrance, but now we're back into this fight. It's a stasis from Long. Mega Inferno Bomb hits 3 people. Good damage onto the backline. Neon going for the package, and look at the burn onto the members of FPX. They're the Phoenix, but they're the ones getting burned down to a Chris. Long once again onto the backline. Yami holding onto the taunt. GA comes out. Yezi trying to dump damage as fast as he can. It is 0711 trying to turn it around, but it's not enough. Nova Esports live to tell the tale, and Yezi's the only one left standing.
These team fights are so close, Mark.
I have to catch my breath, TJ. I'm not gonna lie. This is so incredible to see from both of these teams.
The engage cycling from Nova, always letting one person be in the front line and spending their Zhonyas to take the majority of the focus from FPX. You see, first Long goes in, attracts the focus, goes into Zhonyas. Then Yiza steps in, does the same thing. And right as it's about to go real wrong, it's Neon with the package yet again, forcing FPX to come back. FPX never have control of this fight as a result.
They're always reacting. Watch how Neon re-engages here.
GA earning his money. Neon in, cuts the fight in half, and right when they burn him down, the cooldowns are back up for the rest of Nova, and Yiza can step forward. Then when Yiza's cooldowns are spent, that's when Yami spends his tool, which means there's never overlapping cooldowns. There's never a moment where two members of Nova stun the same target at the same time. They always have their stuns, their taunts spaced out, so that every member is doing a stun for the maximum length of time.
That damage number from Remake is ridiculous.
Yeah, we didn't really mention Remake in that fight because he was never in danger. He was sitting at the very back of the fight, just pumping out damage, which is what he does for this team.
And can you believe that Remake didn't have Flash in that entire fight? It only came down to how his front line was protecting him, and then a clutch stasis when 0711 had him below a quarter of his HP.
Yeah, and that's what Nova's team fights, their organization in these fights can earn you. And if FPX don't draft a composition that can get more aggressive into this, they're going to keep losing the 5v5s because Nova are fighting perfectly.
And the Mega Inferno Bombs at this stage of the game. 3.5 items for Remake is doing some serious chunks from Xiaoma's HP bar.
So here we go with Nova Esports yet again at the 20-minute mark in full control of the map. A little bit of deja vu as I see FPX falling yet further behind in gold and not having enough access to their own jungle to farm their way back into this game. And what are we approaching? Well, Elder Baron. FPX need to make a Hail Mary, need to make a huge play here.
You already have Yitse prepping the wave on the dragon side of the map, pushing in this wave. There are turrets that are ready to fall from one minion wave crashing. FPX, it's a blanket of darkness on the Baron pit. Do they dare start it?
They don't know that. They have no way of knowing how many wards there are inside the Baron pit, so they can't just free start it. Do they not have any sweepers? Do they have one, but it's on Lei, and he wasn't there.
Neon has package once again. Look to where they separate FPX in this next upcoming fight.
Wasted Mega Inferno Bomb. Good start for them, but the poke battle very much going Nova's way. This skirmish for the Elder Mounted Drake is spawning just below them. FPX beginning to drift forward, looking for any way to start this fight, and more spread out this time, so that they don't get full combos, so they can avoid focusing a single target. Hopefully, Nova are instead, as a result, kiting them into this choke point, these narrow access ways. What is that stasis?
I don't know, but that's not what
Yezi
Yezi wanted to do. That's a crucial ability gone.
That's a huge waste of a stasis.
Long, engaging right into Fondo. Burns the Cyclone for free. Stasis by some time. Here comes Neon with the package. Goes golden. Distracts them momentarily. FPX forced to retreat from the dragon.
But it's good kiting from FPX. They don't make the mistake they did last time. They don't waste cooldown on players in golden stasis. And now they can re-engage with an advantage onto this mountain drag. Can 0711 get there in time? TP's coming in.
It's too late. Nova have secured the Elder Dragon, and 0711 was trying to regain HP, but the opportunity has passed up. And look at Nova. It's Lei trying to re-engage with the body slam flash, but 0711 so low in HP, he's going to have to burn the GA. And Neon and Remake are once again unaffected, undeterred. You cannot get through the front line of Nova, as it is Nova all day, every day. FPX looking to find some stragglers, finding ways to get back, but the damage is done.
And FPX look like they've been mentally out of this as well. That fight was so badly coordinated, they missed the window and then tried to engage anyway. Stragglers, one at a time, laying miles ahead of his damage. It was not a good fight. It is not a good look from FPX as Nova march towards game number 2 in this series.
They are on the doorsteps of the Nexus here. Yezi doing everything that he can. A kick away from Long, 2,000 HP. He's pushed out the minion wave. Can he deal enough damage to the members of Nova? No, it is not coming through! Nova are on the brink of eliminating FPX and advancing to the finals.
And with one more win, they upset the order in the WRL. FPX won a dominant grand finals only a month ago. And now
just appears to be the bane of FPX. We talk about FPX being this unbeatable team, but they have fallen twice. They have fallen to Nova before in the WRL. They've fallen twice so far in this series, and now Nova Esports is at match point, Rico.
Yeah!
FPX against FPX.
FPX, the champions of the WRL right now, are at the brink of being eliminated at Icons in their semifinals, and it's Nova. I feel like it's gonna be extra, if it's a 3-0. It's true!
Yeah.
I mean, FPX did not drop a single game before the semifinals, and now they're on the brink of getting trioed by Nova. It's